Hello and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to get rid of all of those calcium deposits on the inside of your terrariums. I get a lot of customers coming in asking me how to get rid of all of the calcium deposits on the sides of their enclosures. So I thought I'd put this video together to showcase to you how I actually do this myself, and hopefully you'll be able to give it a go at home. It really isn't as hard as people think it is, and there are a few ways of doing this. However, I have found the best way to do it and the quickest way to do it. Now, once you've actually done the process, you will realize how much of a difference that it actually makes to your enclosure. And I promise you that your enclosure is going to look amazingly clean once you've done it. And I guarantee you, you're going to be pretty impressed with the results yourself. So this is what the calcium deposits look like before you do the process. And this is what it looks like afterwards. As you can see, it's all gone. Now, there are actually 3 ways which you can do this process. I personally believe that the one which I'm going to show you to do is the best way. However, there are 2 alternatives which I'm going to go through right now. And the third option I'm going to actually show you because that's how I do it. So the first option is you use hot soapy water and then you give it a good scrub down, and then you'll use a Stanley blade. Make sure it's a sharp one to scrape down the deposits. And then you simply wipe it off with a microfiber towel. And the second option is very similar to the first option. And what you do is you use white vinegar. And again, you will put it onto the sponge, give it a good scrub, and then you'll use the blade to scrape it down, and then you'll clean it off. Now, there are downsides to the first 2 options, which I've just gone over. Now, for the white vinegar one, the first downside is I find that the enclosure will smell of white vinegar for a period of time once you've done the process. So you will likely need a second enclosure to house your animal whilst you leave your other enclosure to air out. Now, another downside to the white vinegar one and also for the hot soapy water one is that I find that you have to do the process a few times in order to actually get rid of all of the deposits. I find that after 1 or 2 times, you can still see some leftover like outlines of where the calcium deposits were. So even though they're a cheaper option, they're probably not the most efficient option. And obviously you're going to be spending more time doing it because you're going to have to repeat the process 2 to 3 times. Obviously, if you're not that fussed on how perfect it looks and you aren't too fussed about the outlines of the calcium deposits, then obviously these 2 options might be a good route for you. But let me now go through the third option, which is, in my opinion, the best option because it doesn't leave any calcium deposits after you've actually done it. Now, for this option, you will need this product. Now, this is the Exoterra glass cleaner. I think these are only about $12.99. We sell them on our website, so you're more than welcome to click on the link in the description below to have a look at that. Now, this product does actually have some instructions on how to use this product. However, I've given it a go a few times and like each time it hasn't really worked the best. I almost gave up with this product. However, I have figured a better way out of using this to my advantage. And now that I've figured this way out, which we're going to go through, honestly, I'll never go for any other way of doing it. I'll always do it this route because it does look so clean and so almost new once it's done. So obviously you're going to need this, but on top of that, again, you're going to need a sponge and you're going to need 1 or 2 microfiber towels. Now, I do find that this sort of towel is better for once you've actually done the cleaning to wipe it all dry. But I find that this one's good for just getting rid of the majority of that solution. In addition to all of these bits, you're also going to need, again, a Stanley blade. Make sure it is a very sharp Stanley blade. I would just get a brand new one. The reason why you want this to be sharp is because if you've already used it, you run the risk of scratching the glass itself when you actually scrape down the deposits. And to finish it off, you're going to need some reptile safe antibacterial spray, just to get rid of the last of it. You can use this stuff. This is the Habitat stuff. ProRep do some. Also, there's things like F10. They all work the same. Just make sure it's a reptile safe antibacterial spray. So now I'm going to take you to my enclosures and we're going to show you how I actually do this process so you can give it a go at home. So all of this white stuff you can see on the side of the enclosure is calcium deposits. Now, the reason why you get a buildup of this is because when you mist your enclosure, the water contains a level of calcium which, once it is dry, it leaves these calcium deposits. Usually this is because you live in a hard water area. Down where I live in the south of the UK, we have hard water and it does contain high levels of calcium in it. So it's going to build up fairly quickly after a few months of mist in the enclosure. Now, I expect this is probably why I get a lot of people ask me how to get rid of it, purely because we live in a hard water area. But for example, if you lived up north in the UK, somewhere like Scotland, for example, where you have a lot softer water, it will probably take a lot longer for these deposits to actually build up. But this is because your water doesn't contain as much calcium. I'm going to show you it inside this enclosure because I want to show you a section which we are going to scrub, and then also a section which we're going to leave so you can actually clearly see the difference between before and after. Okay, so first of all, you want to get your sponge and your glass cleaner and simply just pour a little bit on like so. And then what I tend to do is I use my finger just to smudge it all into the sponge so the whole sponge is covered in it. Then what you're going to do is simply just wipe down the section which you want to agitate and remove the calcium deposits from. Once you've agitated it and worked it in, flip the sponge over and then just apply a bit more pressure when you're doing this side of the sponge and give it a good scrub. Like so. There we go. Now, once this is done, what you want to do is get your fresh, brand new Stanley blade. And what you are simply going to do is go over everything that you've literally just scrubbed and literally just scrape it. And as you can see, a lot of the solution will come off. Then use one of the microfiber towels, which I said about, to just wipe the blade clean each time. And then simply just go over all of that solution which you've just applied. Now, once you've done that and you've gone over all of the area which you've applied the solution to and you've scratched it all off, what you do is get your microfiber towel and try and get rid of as much of that residue as possible. So simply just wipe it all down and take as much of that residue off. Now, you'll also notice that you can see a bit of the leftover residue. Don't worry about that because I'll show you how to get rid of that in a split second. Cool, once you've done that, get your other towel and just a real quick dry off, just so then you know it's definitely dry. And now I'm going to show you how to get rid of the leftover residue. What you're going to do is simply get your antibacterial spray, give it a little spray, then you're going to get your microfiber towel, and then you're going to apply a bit of pressure, so you proper rub it down. Just make sure that you go over all of that leftover residue and try and dry it off. You want to take as much of the wetness off of the glass as possible. Afterwards, what you're going to do is get your microfiber towel and then simply dry that all off. Again, apply a little bit more pressure than you normally would. And then that is done. So, as you can see, there is no leftover calcium deposits. It is looking brand new. Now I'm going to show you the difference from before and after. That is what the whole glass looked like beforehand, and that is what it looks like after. As you can see, that is a huge difference. And like I said to you at the start of the video, it almost looks brand new. Like I said, I'm very impressed with the results that I get from this, and honestly the camera doesn't really do it justice. But like I said, I believe this is the best way of doing it. I've tried all kinds of different ways of doing it, and this seems to be the most effective way. So there we have it, guys. Now you know how to fully clean the calcium deposits from the inside of your enclosures. Like I say, obviously this is just how I personally do it. I have tried loads of other ways. Other ways do work, they don't seem as effective as this way. So obviously I'm going to recommend the best way, which I've found. But hopefully now you're able to go and give this a go for yourself. If you're looking for these products, obviously I'll leave them in the description below. But yeah, I hope that you've learned something today, and I hope that you found this video useful and helpful. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to drop us a like and also comment to let us know what you thought. If there's anything else which you guys want to know about and you want me to make videos on, please let me know, because I'd love to be able to make videos for you on them. And if you did enjoy this video, maybe consider subscribing. We've got a lot of content lined up. We've got a bioactive enclosure build coming soon, and we've got a lot more care videos in the near future coming as well. So yeah, that's basically it for today's video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. See ya!